Hello everyone, welcome to FTE. Feel the English, feel the fragrance of learning. Today we are going to analyze the poem, the dramatic monologue, Ulysses, written or composed by the British poet of the Victorian era, Alfred Tennyson. The dramatic monologue Ulysses was written in the year 1833 and published in the year 1842 in Tennyson's second volume of poetry. The poem or the dramatic monologue Ulysses by Alfred Tennyson is the expression of an adventurer, of a traveler, the great mythological hero who is the speaker of the dramatic monologue, Ulysses. Though the poet has used the element of Greek mythology, he has presented the glory of adventure through the imaginary role of the mythological character Ulysses. Though this spirit of adventure and traveling we cannot find out from the mythological background of the story, but Alfred Tennyson has presented the view in a way that it has become a pleasurable moment of adventure, exploring the importance of adventure and traveling of the mythological hero Ulysses. This dramatic monologue is a poem of adventure and discovery. Adventures have become a habit and a great passion for Ulysses that he is unable to give up this habit as he gets the uncountable pleasure, knowledge, and experience out of it. Traveling and adventures provide Ulysses a spark of knowledge and experience of life and people, and also of Mother Nature. He is so fond of traveling and adventure that he has no greed for his throne as the king of his kingdom, Ithaca. After a long period of 20 years or more, he returns home. It was a reunion of his family, his wife and son Telemachus especially, but his mind was in search of adventure even then. He rejects the life of domestic activities and wishes to leave his kingdom once again to discover the new world of adventure and traveling. He later hands the responsibility of his kingdom over to his eligible and responsible son Telemachus and starts his new journey to advent and discover. His only chanting is to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Now, what is the connection of the mythological story, the story of the great hero Ulysses in the era of Victoria or the Victorian England? What is the connection? The only connection is the possibility of adventure and traveling. The Victorian era is considered as the era of modernization. There was the revolution in the industries and science and technology. The old values were rejecting and new values were coming. So there were two categories of people. One of these categories, the people were attached to the old skills and old values, with their spirit of traveling and adventure due to the hmm, effect of colonialism. The other category, the other people of the second category were involved or involving in the new world, the world of technology and science and industries. So they were accepting the new values, and in this acceptance, they were uh, forgetting their culture of traveling and adventure, which was the spirit of the Englishman. And to reveal that spirit, actually, Alfred Tennyson has written this poem to inspire adventure and traveling, actually. So now we will uh, analyze the poem by line by line, line by lines. First, the dramatic monologue begins with the speaker, Ulysses, as he returns to his kingdom Ithaca, and he has spent some days there and enjoyed, but he was not interested to remain there permanently or till his death. His decision was to leave his kingdom and start a new journey for adventure and traveling, for the acquiring knowledge and gaining experience to explore the new world, to expose the Western Isles or countries. It became the passion of the adventure and traveling became the passion for Ulysses. It little profits that an idle king by the still earth among these barren crags messed with an aged wife I met and dole unequal laws unto a savage race that herd and slave and feed and know not me. Here in these lines, Ulysses expresses the unimportant of his life remaining in his kingdom of Ithaca. He is no more interested to remain as a king in the kingdom. He is feeling as a stranger here. Sorry for that. It little profits that an idle king. He considers himself as idle king, and he is not comfortable being an idol because it has become a habit for him to travel, to do hard labor, to struggle, and and get pleasure out of this. Though he has met his wife and his son him after a long time, he sees his family, but he is not interested. He is not interested in the bondage of his family. He does not like to be responsible towards his family. He wants to be an adventurer till his death. This is the ultimate wish of Ulysses, and that spirit has been represented by Alfred Tennyson in the poem Ulysses, or in the dramatic monologue. Unequal laws unto a savage race, that word, and slave and feed, and no, not me. And his people, as a king, people are unknown to him now, because for a long time he was absent here in his kingdom, so he is feeling like a stranger in his own kingdom. He just sleeps, he has just slept and fed, he has taken food, and he has taken rest, and thus he has spent his days in his kingdom, and the people are unknown to him. So this situation is so boring and uninteresting to Ulysses. I cannot rest. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. Ulysses declares that he cannot rest from travel, because traveling and adventure has become a passion for his life. He is addicted to adventure, to explore the new worlds, to visit the different types of people, different types of places, and acquire knowledge and experience. So he now cannot rest from travel. Though the strength in his body is not like the earlier, but his will is very strong. His determination is so strong that he will advent and travel till his death. I will drink life to the lees. This drink means the traveling and adventure, the thrust of traveling and adventure. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly. All times Ulysses traveled, he enjoyed greatly during his traveling, and also they have also suffered. That means Ulysses and his companions, or mariners, or peers, they have also suffered, because they enjoy, or joy always comes from the suffering, or the hard work, or hard labor. As there is a proverb, no gain, no pain. So during the traveling in the sea, they had to face many problems. They had to struggle with the wind, the storm, and also they got the pleasure out of these things. So I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me, and alone on shore, and went through scolding drifts, the rainy heights, baked the dim sea. I am become a name. Suffered greatly, both, that is, he, he suffered, he not only suffered alone, but all they suffered who loved Ulysses. And when he was alone on the shore, then also he suffered and enjoyed, And when through scolding drips the rainy heights baked the dim sea, I am become a name. Thus Ulysses has become a name. That is, his name uh, has become popular or had become popular in the field of adventure and traveling. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. His heart is hungry. It is not the hungry of the physical body, but the hungry of adventure and traveling. That is why, instead of using the word hungry stomach, the poet Alfred Tennyson has used hungry heart, because adventuring and traveling is a matter of mind and heart, not the matter of stomach. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known. Ulysses has seen much and he has known much things during his traveling. He has experienced new things and he also has acquired new knowledge. Cities of man and manners. He has seen cities of man and manners. He has experienced climates, councils, governments. He has traveled the places of different climates, different situations, councils and governments. Myself not least, but honored of them all. Myself not least, but honored of them all. And he was also honored by the people he visited, he traveled, and he also respected them. There is a relationship between the people and the traveler adventurer. That is the relations made in the traveling and adventure. Ulysses has revealed the fact that during his adventure and traveling, their relations made between the people and them, and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy, and drunk delight of battle with my fears. This line reveals the facing of many problems during the sailing ship on the sea, on the surface of the sea, keeping the goal of or aim of adventuring and traveling. Ulysses and his peers or companions had to face many problems during their traveling. So, and the drunk delight of battle with my fears, and this struggling has been compared to the battle. For on the ringing plains of windy Troy, it was the battle of windy Troy, that is the storm, the struggle, the battle against the storm and the other obstacles on the way. I am a part of all that I have made. I am a part of all that I have made. Ulysses is not Ulysses, but he has now become a part of all that he has made, he has seen, he has experienced, and his knowledge and his behavior. All these are the part of his life and his adventure and traveling. He has many experiences of traveling and during his course of adventure. Yet all experience is an arc, whether true. glimpsed an untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. And yet all experience is an arc where true. And all his experience is compared to an arc because Ulysses considers himself as a minor traveler or adventurer because though he has traveled many places, different climates, different peoples, he has met. He had met different kings. Had the honor. He had the experience. He met the relations between among the people, but he has to explore, he has to expose many things too. Sorry for the cough. He now has to explore many things, expose many things. There are many things he has to explore, he has to experience, he has to travel many places, and he has to discover many things, many knowledge he has to acquire out of his traveling. He considers his life as nothing, or it is not sufficient. This life is not sufficient to complete his mission of traveling and adventure. He has to take many paths to complete his desire and wish to have a complete course of adventure in this world. So he says, yet all experience is an arc, whether true. Glimpsed at untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. How dull it is to pause. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to trust. Sorry, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little, and of one to me little remains, but every hour is saved from death, eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 suns to store, and hired myself and this grey spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. Ulysses considers uh, his decision to remain in his kingdom as a dull decision. So he does not want to live there as a domestic man, but he has to travel, and he has to discover many things. How dull it is to pause. So it is dull to pause, to make an end to his traveling and adventuring, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little. So he considers his life is nothing if he he is offered many births, then it is also not sufficient to him to complete his uh, traveling and adventure, to explore the world, to expose the Western Isles. So he says, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little. This life is so little. Not only this life, if many births is given to him that many birds are also not sufficient to him to make a complete and satiable journey. And of one to me little remains, and his life little remains, because he has become an old person. He has lost many things in his life. He has passed many experiences, many years of his life. Now only little remains. His life only little remains, and within this little time, he has to make himself happy and pleasure by his journey, traveling and adventure, exploring, exposing the world, discovering a new world. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence. But every hour is saved from that eternal silence something more. He has to discover something more. This life is too little to him. A bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 sons to store, and hired myself, and this grey spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. His travelling and adventure is bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 sons to store, and hired myself himself. His adventure and travelling is compared to a vast world. He had to capture, he had to acquire knowledge and experience, and to store those experience, he must have the space like 3 sons. A son has a great space. 3 sons, it is nonsense in term, but 3 sons has been used here to only to present the limit, present the space space of the capturing experience and knowledge. And this great spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. Sorry. Ulysses has to acquire knowledge and experience. He has to gain knowledge and experiences out of his traveling and adventure. His desire is to acquire limitless knowledge and experiences in his life. And this knowledge is like a sinking star. A sinking star that is the limitless, boundless, and sharp and bright. This knowledge and experience are limitless, boundless, sharp and bright. That is why he has compared this knowledge as a sinking star. The star cannot sink. It has given a reflection or an image of the star on the water. It looks like sinking star. So sinking star. Now the present of the star of a star, when it is looked like sinking under the water, the present of the star is both in the sky and under the water. So the between the 2 stars, or is 2 stars, is the space between the sky and the earth. So it is limitless distance between the sky and the underwater of the earth. So the sinking star does makes a sense of limitless, boundless, or uncountable knowledge beyond the utmost bound of human thought, and this knowledge is beyond the utmost bound of human thought. So thank you for watching. The rest of the lines of the dramatic monologue will be analyzed in the next part of the video. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and also share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Keep supporting, because your supporting is utmost essential for us. Thank you for being here. And sorry for my voice. I'm suffering from coughing, so sorry for that. Thank you once again. Have a nice day. God bless you.